Welcome to Intimacy Evolution, the podcast that helps you enjoy deeper connection and more intimacy in your relationships. I'm Brianna Carey, relationship and intimacy coach, and together with my husband Mark, a licensed professional counselor, we're here to help couples create the relationships they crave. Relationships evolve over time, and that's okay. Let's talk about it.
Ooh. She cut those herself, everybody. Look how cute they look. Very, very proud.
Thanks, babe. What was your actual response, though, when you walked into the bathroom?
And you were cutting your hair? My actual response was, you have to leave soon. What the hell are you doing? And if this goes bad, then you're not leaving at all. And it's going to be a disaster. No. I mean, we're going to have crying and yeah.
You're trying to prepare yourself for...
Well, you also don't have someone
catastrophic damage.
Yes.
Potential.
Yes. And you don't have someone local that is like your go-to. And if you did, they're booked out. And so there's a lot of risk here.
So much.
But what is
life without risk?
Yeah, there is risk everywhere. And you did a great job. So there you go.
Thanks.
What was it? TikTok, YouTube? What'd you watch?
I watched a 30-second YouTube short that gave me way too much confidence.
What would you rate your confidence when you did that? Like 1 to 10?
Oh, it was a fuck it, let's do it 10. How he made it look. It was just like, part it, you pull it over to one side, you cut it, you pull it over to one side, you cut it, boom, you got bangs. I'm like, done.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening cosmically on Saturday that just gave me this like confidence and a sense of like, let's fuck around and find out, I guess.
Well, probably something to do with your cycle actually, but
it is both.
Oh, your cycle and
the lunar cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the day before you cut our daughter's hair.
Okay, so that's actually what
Gave
propelled
you all the confidence?
No. Well, yes. If you are feeling down on yourself, get yourself a 5-year-old hype girl. Unless she's having a mean girl day, because then they hurt. Anywho, I cut her bangs on Friday because she had been asking, and she was also home for 2 days sick. And so I was like, okay, let's finally cut your bangs so you can feel good. And she just like was beaming. She was so excited, and like she just kept flipping her hair, and she would just be like, Mommy, I love them so much. And I was like, I had a Regina George moment. I'm like,
a lot of Mean Girl references today.
Regina George wore army pants and flip-flops, so I wore army pants and flip-flops, and that's exactly what it was. Like, my daughter had curtain bangs, and she loved them, so I wanted curtain bangs so I could love my hair.
And I don't really know where this conversation's going or where we're putting it or anything like that.
I don't know why you always have to. It is just our life, Mark. And
yeah, this is a life update, I guess.
No, it's just what is happening. You don't have to structure everything.
Oh, really?
Like,
I'm not the overly structured.
Let it flow. Let it flow. I'm feeling feisty.
Who gave my wife some, I don't know, some sort of drugs, because she's just
high on life today.
High on life, love it.
High on life. I think it's because I made a new friend.
Oh.
And we met for coffee this morning and had a wonderful conversation. It was one of those people that just... We didn't stop talking for 2 hours, and the conversation just flowed, and it was just such an even exchange, just so reciprocal. And it's one of those where I left feeling energized and so full and so grateful, and just a background on how we met. Like, our kids were playing at the park together. And Remington, we were leaving, and he's like, Mommy, can you please go get their mom's number so we can have another play date? And I'm like, babe, like, they probably live close by. We'll see them again. Like, it's not a big, it's okay. And he's like, no, they're so much fun. Can you please just go ask her? And I'm like, I get anxiety. I'm like, I don't want to go talk to a stranger and try to get their number. Like,
Stranger danger.
Isn't that weird? Like,
I got free candy in my van. Come on.
So I did. Like, he walked me over to her, and he just like looks at me, and I was like, hi. So our kids played really well together. Like, can I get your number and we can schedule a date and, you know, a play date? And she's like, oh my gosh, we were just talking about that. I'm so glad you asked. And he just looked at me like,
told ya.
So we did. We scheduled a play date like a week later. Actually, I think it was like 3 days later. And her and I had a conversation and it flowed and it was great. And so we've stayed in touch and had coffee today. And so, like I said, I'm very energized. I'm so grateful, you know, for my son getting me out of my comfort zone. And I showed him I can do hard things too. And in that conversation, she actually brought up something that I was like, oh, yes, we need to talk about it. And so that's actually what we're talking about today. She had mentioned this article that came out from the Surgeon General about parents' mental health.
Yeah, so the title of the article is U.S. Surgeon General Issues Advisory on the Mental Health and Well-Being of Parents. Okay. And essentially, I'll give you the paraphrase. Parents' stress levels are significantly higher than non-parents for many reasons, which we'd somewhat expect.
Yeah.
The question is, you know, is it higher than past generations? And that we don't really know, but we're feeling a lot of it. And maybe, you know, post-COVID, maybe there's a number of reasons. And I think the first thing that came to my mind was the lack of support in community. And this is a real big problem for society right now.
Yeah.
It's in the last day and a half, I've seen probably 10 posts on different Facebook men's groups, like dads groups or whatever, about men struggling in their relationship as a parent, as a partner, being roommates, and this type of stuff. And I'm feeling a call to create content and put it in these groups to educate and help people. And yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about today is what's missing, what you can do about it. And yeah, I think that's...
Yeah. And, you know, with just the work that we do, I feel like we've known this for a long time. We see this, we experience this. And so for us, I think it's just so nice to finally see it starting to become, I don't want to say mainstream, but at least it's like on the cusp of that. Like it's starting to be acknowledged that this is a thing. And it's kind of like, we talked about this the other night about how I feel like our generation, like the millennial, just under Gen X, like this time frame, like I feel like we're having our quote unquote midlife crisis so much earlier because we've experienced so many drastic, traumatic events in our lifetime than I think any other generations have.
Yeah.
And so is there more stress than there were in past generations? I almost feel like yes. Because of one, just social media, if we talk about that aspect, and having an abundance, an overwhelming abundance of knowledge at your fingertips that can be so paralyzing if you don't know how to set boundaries, if you're constantly, you know, comparing to what you're seeing, if people are showing their wonderful life on a screen and you're sitting here struggling thinking like it's just you when they're not showing the hard shit.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to. We're told not to air our dirty laundry, but we can also share the realness of life. And I think that that's what we're really feeling called to do, is talk about the hard shit that nobody's talking about, to bring awareness to it so people don't feel like they're in this alone.
Yeah. So, couple things that are coming up to me is, okay, so let's better define the problem that it's at hand. And then let's talk about solutions. I'll also talk about solutions named in this article, which I disagree with, and I think they're completely off. But
and you'll tell us why.
Yeah, we have emojis on the screen. Apple products. Yeah,
I thought we turned that off.
I know.
Stop using so many hand motions.
No hand motions. Got it.
Okay.
We did turn that off. I don't know why.
We did. I don't know.
Technology again, right? So let's define the problem. Okay, parents are stressed out. Mm-hmm. Right now we're in a time where everything's more expensive right now compared to 2 years ago, especially compared to pre-COVID housing prices, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so we have these financial stressors.
Yep.
Right? We have a lack of expression and deep connection I'm seeing for at least men on my side of things. It's like, we're not sitting around the campfire as much. We're not talking about things as much. We're not diving deep. We're busy. And so we're not having the community that we need as parents. It's taken a lot for me to create that for myself. And I think moms are there too.
Yeah.
Adult friendships are tough.
Yeah. It's not just having your own friends, and then, if you want to have couple friends, and then if they have kids, do your kids get along? And there can be a lot of there's multiple factors, and so yeah, it's hard.
Definitely. And I think for at least us, this is not everyone, but I'm going to hit on that post-COVID thing again. There is some distrust in, what we're told, or maybe this is more politics in general, but I'm having some distrust on what information's given to us, what's not given to us. Are Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora, Colorado, or not? What is happening? What's one person was nominated, Joe Biden. Now we have someone else without a nomination. That seems a little sketchy to me. What?
Just, you're getting so edgy.
Politics.
Yeah. But it's true. There's a lot of what the fuck's going on in the world right now?
Did Trump get shot in the ear? Did he not? What's happening?
Yeah.
Everybody's making up everything according to the other side. And it's there's this lack of unity and togetherness. And that comes back to parenting. There's the togetherness of us. Yeah. There's togetherness of our community, our friends, our other people. And so that's my biggest concern is the support through community.
Yeah. And we could go on to that. There's just more that we can go into, but that's not what this episode is about. I agree. And what I was just going to say is after 9/11, there was this sense of patriotism and togetherness. The whole country was united, and after COVID, it feels like we're more alone than ever. And like you said, if you have an inner circle or close circle of friends, and if you don't have that, then you are just kind of where am I? You feel lost. And so it's bigger than we even realize. And if this is what you're experiencing and going through, again, you're not alone. We're all navigating this. This is new for all of us. And there's not been any other generations that have navigated something like this to this depth.
It, we were thinking back to each other, of the big timelines and the big, events that have happened in other generations. And like you mentioned, 9/11, or wars often bring countries together, unify them. I'm not a proponent of war. I actually am kind of an isolationist in that regard, but nonetheless, that brings people together. I guess the other, I don't know about the Great Depression. That's a question mark. That could be division, right? And pulling apart. But anyways, we're not going to get too far into that. But
yeah, and if anybody has any thoughts or insights on this, like that wanted to share, please like message us and we can talk about this more, because I think it all needs to be talked about. We need to stop sweeping things under the rug. We need to shed light on them. And I saw something the other day that said we were taught that talking about politics and religion was what was it? It was not polite to talk about politics and religion. And so we stopped doing that. And when we stopped doing that, we stopped being educated on it. Emphasize that word, educated on it. And what instead we need to learn is how to have civilized conversations about these and respecting each side.
yeah.
You know, we can have these conversations and not agree, and that's okay. You don't have to agree with everybody. Nobody has to believe everything you believe, because that would be boring. But we can be compassionate and kind to one another.
Definitely.
And that's what we're missing.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to this article a little bit. So, you know, the what it talks about as far as the impact is the stress on the parents, how that trickles down to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll read this quote. Parents have a profound impact on the health of their children and the health of society. Yet parents and caregivers today face tremendous pressures from familiar stressors, such as worrying about their kids' health, safety, finances, new challenges like navigating technology, social media, a youth mental health crisis, an epidemic of loneliness that has hit young people the hardest. And so I believe, I mean, that hits me.
Yeah.
That feels so true.
Yeah.
So let's talk about solutions and what this article says, and then we'll kind of go into that.
Yeah.
Does that work? Okay. Okay. Thanks. Just making fun of me, guys.
Anybody that watched South Park, you know.
So the article says the critical steps to ensure families have support they need. They're pushing for increased access to paid family leave, improving early childhood education and childcare, and delivering historic investments in mental health, which those are great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with any of those, but I think they're missing the point there.
Okay.
For me, because as a mental health professional, lots of years in that, we focus on mental health so much in a way that I think is very minor. So there's a big problem and we focus on the little part instead of the big part.
Okay.
And when we talk about mental health, it's like, okay, counseling, this and that, and this and that, like finances towards that.
Right.
But if you really get to the root of most mental health, it has something to do with not the individual person, but the collective, the community, the way they experience each other, the way they experience life in togetherness, not in a vacuum, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, go into that some more.
I'm trying to put into words. Let's go to more of the physicality in the body.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
And somatic work and trauma and that type of stuff. There is a level of cognitively processing that.
Yeah.
And then there's a level of emotionally expressing and moving through the emotions.
Bingo.
And
Yep.
so I think what is missing in that part is like there's these higher thinking ideas, but in reality, we need to increase physical health. We need to have better food provided to our people. Like these are things that are actually going to help parents and kids with the mental health crisis is diet and exercise, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason that there's a correlation between mental health and obesity in our country.
Yeah.
There is so much more than what's just here. It's how do we start creating and teaching support networks? And that's not really a policy thing, and I understand that. That's why it's not in the article. But I want to go beyond the things that it says, because honestly, it was family leave, paid family leave. Okay, that's helpful. Let's talk personally for us. That would be nice financially, and at the same time, we work for ourselves. So that impacts us zero.
Yeah.
We're feeling the same thing they're talking about, and the first point would help us not at all.
Yeah.
And so let's talk next point, early childhood education and childcare, improving that. Well,
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does that look? And
And we had great early education and childcare for our kids, and we still feel stressed.
Yeah.
And so how does that actually equate to helping people? Maybe you're talking about at a more affordable rate, and maybe
so
that
you're not stressing financially over. Yeah.
But
maybe there's like grants or something that parents are given to put towards childcare or something.
yeah. Well, and so maybe that hits something. Maybe for us, not really. And so we're just talking
Interesting.
personally.
It's almost as if the people that are experiencing these need to be in the room to talk about how this would actually impact their lives, rather than people that are just saying stuff.
And politicians that are grandparents' age that aren't
experiencing this. And when they were parents, life was totally different than it is now.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So, delivering historic investments in mental health care. Okay. If you have decent insurance, mental health care is within reach for the most part. Does this really move the needle for me? Maybe. It depends if you put that into programs and organizations and stuff. But again,
and is that like for a specific time frame, right? So postpartum, let's really make an impact on the postpartum depression that women are experiencing, because they need the support. So yes, for some, maybe having extended, what was it? The first one about
paid leave.
Yeah, paid leave, right? Their partner gets to be home with them for a little bit longer. They're not stressing about not making money during that time. So they're having that support that will greatly impact and help decrease the depression and anxiety. And so if we are talking about, investing in mental health, then there needs to be programs for the parents during that 4th trimester and beyond. For the mom, for the dad, for both.
Yeah.
That are from professionals that are trained in this specific part of their journey. Not just mental health in general, but specifically the impacts of postpartum and raising a child and what they're going to be experiencing.
Yeah. The most impactful time is that year after having kids. So that period of time is probably the most crucial. And so, maybe you're right. Paid leave will help a lot of people. It just wouldn't be us personally.
Yeah.
At the same time, just leave and lack of support and how to do it well,
right,
still doesn't provide. That'd be like
a decrease in stress.
Yeah. If I spend time at home, sad, that does't really help me at all. We need more support than just the paid time off, right? And so for me, it's just, I want to name something else. These are very broad. I don't really trust them. I don't trust that they'll be actually beneficial. And so again,
but it's sparking conversation at least. And hopefully with us talking about it and bringing awareness, other people are hopefully talking about it in a more positive light as well. And the more we talk about this and bring awareness, normalizing these conversations, because this is important. And what did you say the other day? Divorces have an impact on the next 7 generations. Those are like, we won't even know that, like,
Yeah,
part
they
of our
won't even know
lineage,
who we
right?
are.
They won't even. We won't. I don't even know if we'll be remembered that far. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, that's serious.
Well, and I think that also speaks to what we're talking about here. This epidemic for parents now is because the divorce rates started increasing over our parents' lifetimes and that type of stuff, and now we're experiencing
The 80s
that.
and 90s, yeah,
And
early 2000s. Yeah.
we're a product of that, not us directly, but
Yeah.
our generation, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Technically.
So, and if we don't intervene, it's going to continue to get worse, not better. There's nothing that's saying it's pointed in a good direction. And so
I see a lot of things come up about being cycle breakers. I think that's really big for our millennial generation, is we're, and maybe older Gen Z, being cycle breakers in our parenting. And part of that is realizing how much your relationship impacts your kids. And so it's not just how you raise your kids and how you talk to them and how you do figure out discipline and stuff. It's how you show up in your relationship. It's modeling to them healthy conflict and resolution, and that you are a united front, like your relationship is solid, because they can feel that. Even if you're not saying anything, kids are so energetically in tune to what is going on. Like, the cycle breaking is also within the relationship too.
yeah.
And so that's what we want to do, is we want to help this whole generation be cycle breakers for divorce.
Yeah, and I think our generation is primed to do that because there is a lot of talk about cycle breaking. There's more knowledge, and it's like, hey, if we all get on board on this thing and we're getting extra support and unifying, I think one of the things I see often is somebody asks a question. I saw it this morning. Somebody asked a question on the dad's group, and it's like, hey, we're roommates. What do I do? And half the people said, get a lawyer, get divorced, get out of that situation. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. One, a divorce will cost you 10 times what it would to fix your relationship.
To go to therapy or coaching or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2, 7 generations of impact.
Yeah.
3, the person didn't really want that.
Yeah.
And so there's so many people that jump to that, and it's just, hey, we gotta
Stop
work on
using
our
the easy
relationship.
button. It seems like the easy thing, the quick thing to do, but it's actually more difficult.
Yeah, and sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's right.
For sure. And in that case, like, I feel like those are the couples that co-parent really well, because if they're not getting a divorce out of resentment and anger, and they, are able to be like, hey, this just isn't working. Like, we're not fitting together, or whatever. And again, a lot of co-parenting, like, they have to work at it too. But I don't know. I feel like that's where we start having, like, the division, and again, the angry resentment that's impacting the kids, and the kids feel like they have to choose, and, like, just this whole vicious cycle.
And that's because there's not open and honest communication, right?
And it wasn't there in the relationship. So it's not going to happen in the divorce. And then guess what? It's going to happen in the next relationship they get in.
Yes.
So you're not fixing anything.
Yeah. And so the solution is getting the support, getting the help. If you have people around you, great. Build more community, build more depth, do it differently, or pay for the support. We've gone to many couples retreats. We've done so much stuff, and I've never regretted a dime that I've paid.
Absolutely
or
not.
time I put in.
No.
And so it's like, it's okay. It's good for you to get extra support. Just remember, if there are problems, there's problems in every relationship. We have conflict. We have struggles. The solution has to match the problem. So if the problems are, this person was a roommate and even on the brink of divorce, well, what's the solution? Well, the solution has to match the intensity. If we've been disconnected for 7 years, well, going to therapy once a week is not going to work.
No.
We need intensive stuff. We need couples retreats. We need multiple sessions a week.
Mm-hmm.
We need to pull out all the stops and really get after and go after having the relationship we want.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I continue to say and preach is what can we expect if we don't match the problems with the solution? We're going to get discouraged. We're going to get disappointed. Just the same as, if I have a flat tire because there's a hole ripped in the side of my tire. If I put air into it, it will not fix the problem.
Yeah.
You have to get a new tire, right? So it's one of many analogies.
Well, I think that that example, though, of the solution has to match the intensity of the problem. And I think that's why so many people get discouraged with couples therapy, because you typically, by the time they seek out help, their issues have grown and they're going once a week.
If that.
Or once every other week, and they're like, this just isn't working because it's not matching that intensity level. So I think you hit the nail on the head there, that hopefully that is kind of like an aha for people that might have experienced this. What are you probably...
I'm just waiting to say thank you because she gave me a compliment in there.
Oh, you're so welcome. I give you compliments.
No, I'm not saying you don't. I'm
okay.
just waiting to say thank you to the compliment you did.
Yeah, no, and I think that's so important. And as well as, do what you can if you have insurance, and therapy is the way you want to go. But I also feel like both people also need their own therapist.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that's the other challenge that we see with couples that go to couples therapy is maybe one of them sees that person and then they brought their partner in for a few sessions. And then it's almost kind of like that partner feels like an outsider and maybe like they're being ganged up on. And so when we do work with with couples, I think that's what makes we're the only ones that do this.
Yeah.
Literally the only people that do this. Like, we match each partner. And so each partner is represented.
Yeah.
And each partner is getting their own support as well. And so we're able to really dive in to getting to the root of their challenges and their struggles and help them to connect even sooner. Because that's what we focus on. We're like, yes, you have these challenges, but like, how can we help you to connect? Where I feel like, and I'm not trying to dog on therapy, y'all. You go to therapy. I think therapy is super needed and important. And we've also, this was in my conversation today, talk therapy only goes so far.
Yeah, I mean,
we bring in a lot of modalities when we're working with clients that I don't think therapy does.
Yeah, and if we really want to pull back the onion on therapy, that's because the easiest thing to learn as a therapist is the CBT, the structure, the rigid, the talk therapy, as you said, to bring in some of the more complex modalities using the body or some dynamic modalities and stuff is just harder. And it takes a lot more time to get there if you're willing to go there. It takes a lot more deep work for the therapist to be able to go there because what is coming up in me that's blocking me from doing that type of deep work with clients. Like there's a lot that goes into that. And I love therapy. Everyone should go to therapy.
Yes.
And I also know there's a lot of restrictions around it and a lot of limitations. And there's a lot of great therapists, but there's just as many, I wouldn't say bad therapists, but therapists that are only comfortable in the thinking, the talk therapy that's more cognitively based, and it misses the whole other part because we have a brain, but we have a body. They interact. We need both of those to be supported and to heal.
Yeah. So. This is so good.
I've heard that once or twice.
Okay. Well, Y'all, welcome back. You knew we couldn't get through an episode without a joke.
Jokes are great.
Some sort of innuendo. Don't you say it.
You know.
No, I think this is really good. I think this was definitely a much needed conversation. I think we can share a lot more about this in different capacities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take one more minute, couple minutes to brag on the work we're doing.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
The amount of, I've been feeling this with some of my clients lately. The amount of support I'm giving them is just, it's through text, through messages, checking in, journal prompts.
Yeah.
The amount of support I'm giving these people is just
beyond
massive. And
you
it's
don't get
beautiful.
that in therapy.
No, and it's just so beautiful, and I'm so excited.
They're held. They're supported.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. And so I'm just, I'm so passionate about this, and it's very much allowed me to unlock a bigger amount of support that these people can get. And I think that's what I really wanted to brag on is how much we can give.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You're doing great work. I've just been in awe watching you create your community here, supporting new men that you keep meeting, and various interactions, like just a random person you meet on a trail and all of a sudden you help them with something, or just connecting, and giving them community as well, and just seeing you
Uh-oh. If you're listening, you can't see it.
Just seeing you lit up, living fully in your purpose.
Thank you, baby.
That's what I've been witnessing a lot lately.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful to see the growth that you have made this year. Because I know it was a challenge when we first moved and you were closing your practice and you were scared and you're resistant to a little bit. You're holding on, and seeing you really release and step into your work and seeing the impact you're making on men is huge. It's been really potent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I receive.
Yeah.
So.
Doing good work.
Yeah, and behind the curtain here, speaking of work, I feel some resistance, and I want to give away this power right now. I feel that I want to compliment you because you complimented me, not because that's really what's necessary right now. So I just want to call that out. Something I see a lot is the nice guy in me, or in other men. Sometimes it's hard to receive positive things and not think we need to reciprocate.
Deflect or think we need to reciprocate. You can just receive.
Yep.
And be.
Yep. So.
And that glorious reflection I gave you.
That's right. With all that beautiful emotion and love and yeah.
It's true. So, well, this was great. Feels good to be back here.
Yes. And there was plenty of insight to personal experiences in our life, and I love that. Yeah. I love to be able to invite people into what's going on with us, our family, and our work. So thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.